the Alumni Association of the National Institute's Lagos chapter recently held its 2024 annual general meeting to review the previous year's activities and outline the agenda for 2025. It had the Executive Council, elders of the Alumni Association, and distinguished members in attendance. In her remarks, the chairman of the AANI Lagos chapter, Ms. Omolara Balogun, MNI, listed some of the key achievements in 2024.
Permit me, in this address, to highlight below some of the remarkable things we accomplished and achieved during the year, which we believe offers a solid building block in a transition year for which the incoming EXCO should not be saddled with. The 2024-2025 EXCO began the year with a focus on making improvements and changes to the chapter's processes, platforms, practices, and people. Immediately following the new EXCO swearing in, we held a first ever strategic retreat on the 1st of April 2024, wherein we got an overwhelming agreement and buy-in to make changes in how we prioritize and actualize the aims and objectives of the Alumni Association within today's need for efficiency, effectiveness, excellence in our corporate governance, and engagements with our various publics. Following the retreat and subsequent stakeholder engagements, we produced a first ever comprehensive annual budget and plans to guide the programs and plans for the 2024-2025 EXCO, which was approved at our general meeting. We issued in July 2024 two policy documents. One, the AANI Lagos chapter operations and financial management guidelines to govern on how the EXCO conducts the affairs of our members and members-only association, and by the AANI Lagos chapter corporate brand and style guidelines as a communications manual that defines the aesthetics and brand identity of the chapter for compliance to ensure a consistency that reinforce the AANI Lagos brand aesthetics across all platforms, offline and online. The Secretariat has advanced the completion of the 2022 initiated all-purpose AANI Lagos chapter website and have delivered on the following. One, the chapter website is fully operational at www.anilagos.com. Two, the membership portal is functional but requires modifications to meet its intended objectives. Members can now register on the membership portal even as changes, improvements, and modifications remain ongoing.
She also outlined the focus of the Alumni Association for the year 2025.
We will, moving forward, ensure that these programs, which allows the chapter to meet with its community, leaders in government, business, and service areas, are operationalized in 2025. We will do better to build on the social calendar plans and programs designed to improve relations with members, including courtesy visits, commiserations, commendations, and celebrations.
After the annual general meeting, the association also took time to network and strengthen the bond among members through its first social meet in 2025. Some AANI Lagos chapter executives and distinguished members speak on the association's progress and prospects for 2025 and beyond.
One is highly excited to be members of AANI, especially Lagos chapter. AANI is, as you know, is an association of the product of National Institute. And you agree with me that most of our members, if not all, are in strategic positions. So it's a good thing to meet distinguished members from various walks of life who share ideas, share experience, and do things for the common objectives of members.
I think to place it in proper context, we need to go back to what brought us together as ANI. And that was the training we had, the experience we had in NIPS, which has always been geared towards a better society. And so when we have the Lagos chapter, we knew that we had the burden of setting the pace and also recognize that even though you have a national body, the sub-nationals, so to say, will need to pull their weight in order to be able to strengthen the center. And that was what informed the level of excellence that we set for ourselves and the structures we had to build to support that vision. So what we have set up is a governance structure that allows us to have seamless performance in each of our roles and to also set goals around what we believe we should achieve that will be geared towards a better society and ensuring that each one of us from varied backgrounds are able to bring our expertise to contribute to the growth of the chapter, the supporting also the national, and then impacting on the nation as a whole.
When a body or an entity is doing very well, look at the leadership. Yeah, many people will agree with me that the chairman of the Lagos chapter, Mrs. Balogun Ebena, has done very well. Our leadership style is very inclusive, very accommodating, and that has brought in the best out of many people. Some of us, if not all of us, we are very busy. She understands the nature of our work, and so officially or non-officially, she has gotten across to us. And you have brilliant minds in the ESCO who comes up with ideas from time to time. And once you have this set of people you can even learn from, then the outcome is what is expected to be what we have just gotten.
It's amazing what the Lagos chapter has done. In fact, they are trailblazers. You can see, an institution that wants to, be there for a long time. You started with strategy, good processes, putting all the things together to making sure that whoever comes in the continuity is there. So for me, this ESCO has done marvelously well, better than we can imagine, and I give kudos to them because great ideas that they have done. I think the national should be able to learn from Lagos chapter, and it will be better. Will be better than what we are today.
The Lagos chapter of ANI is a pace setter, and we do everything first in Nigeria, and others follow. We have done a great, from the time of the past chairman, Barrister Edu, to our current chairman, Mr. Molara Balogun. They've done a yeoman's job turning the chapter as the chapter to beat in Nigeria. And one of the most critical things we have done is we have held, in the history of ANI, it has never happened before, we had held the first hybrid elections. That's you vote online from wherever, and then you vote physically present. And it is a standard that is going to go national, and that will cut out a lot of things and give purity to elections moving forward.
ANI Lagos chapter, I'll simply put it that it's become a pace setter. In terms of certain examples, particularly if you look at with this current ESCO, they've been able to come up with innovations that is inclusive. And that inclusiveness is what makes us unique. Don't get me wrong, it's not as if when you talk about ANI, there's a prominent chapter, the Abuja chapter. And Abuja chapter had always been a flagship before now. that I bet you for the past 2 years, Lagos chapter has come up and has remained on their heels in terms of these areas of development. I mean, technological wise, like our last election was the first time in the history of AANI that we're going to have a hybrid election in which you're using physical and those that are not physically on ground electronics. And if you look at the development in computerization, it's something that remains an example for other chapters to emulate.
Prior to my coming to ANI, I just knew that it's the right place to be because of the heads, the people that are overseeing things. People like Madam Amalara Balogun MNI and distinguished Mr. Olufemi Awoyemi MNI as well. I've had the privilege to work with them, and I believe that they are the best kind of people to help me become better in whatever I try or whatever height I try to reach. Understand? So I have had the privilege to work with them for some months now, and the secretariat is going better by the day because they are helping me to understand the functionalities and the operational capacity of the secretariat. They have been of immense help to me, and I would say that this is just the beginning. I can only get better with their assistance and their help.
I'm actually glad because every year we are increasing the tempo, we are making impact, and we are rallying round to make sure that more members participate, which is good. And the giant strides that we are making in ANI Lagos is something that other chapters are emulating, which I think even the national will borrow a leaf or two out of, all for the betterment of the association. We are one, both chapters and main body, we are one. But it's better that we continue to keep up our own game so that others can be inspired to do more. That's the ethos, for us to inspire others to do more and to be the best that we can under this scenario.
It's not been easy, but with the full cooperation of the ESCO, the ever supportive ESCO, and the distinguished members of the ANI Lagos chapter, we've been able to weather the storms and come out effective, efficient, and very strong. I must say 2024 was a very challenging year for the chapter and even for Nigeria as a whole, but we have come out stronger and better. And as I said, with the support of the chapter members and our indefatigable members of the EXCO, we're moving ahead. I cannot underestimate the support from the ESCO members, and I am grateful for that.
Thank you very much, man. And what should we expect in 2025?
Oh, 2025 is going to be a very interesting year for us. We're going to move on stronger from what we learned from 2024, and we're excited. 2025 will be a vibrant, inclusive, and exciting year for ANI Lagos chapter. It's also an ANI national elective year, so we're looking forward to participating actively as a chapter in the upcoming national elections, hoping our chapter members who will be vying for contestable positions will have a good home run and be successful. We cannot wait for Lagos chapter members to be active at the national level.
The Alumni Association of the National Institute's Lagos chapter has consistently set the pace as an exemplar in Nigeria by executing 2 policy documents, establishing a functional secretariat, a functional website, and a membership portal. The Omolara Balogun-led executive has demonstrated a commitment and dedication to excellence and inclusive leadership that other chapters in the country can model after.